Are you going to be making content when you're going and you're traveling the world?
Yeah. That's when I feel the most inspired to pick up the camera and storytell is when I'm traveling. So it's easy. When I'm not traveling and I'm just here in Venice, it's really hard to make content because there's nothing really to talk about. And I think now one of the biggest things on YouTube or any sort of content at this point of the audience that we want to cultivate, because we don't want the kids anymore. We want that older audience, and we just got to provide, value and have them learn something, because farting on our cats and throwing them out windows isn't gonna cultivate the audience that I want now.
The audience you want.
Yeah. So, and that was the kid audience. So I guess this is for me even just realizing it right now that I gotta just create some value for this older demographic, and that's what I'll do. And I think with the traveling, it might. I was always thinking of like travel guides to each places I've gone to inspire people to want to check it out and be like, oh, here's the guide to if I travel to Japan, this is what I should do.
Yeah, that's a really cool concept, especially when it's a familiar face that they build trust. I think for myself, not to give advice, I'm definitely not the person to give any advice, but with this show that I did, it was the first time I was like, this is the kind of content I like to watch. You know what I mean? So when I started making content that I actually thought was good, I got a lot of good feedback, a lot better than I expected. So I feel like for me, that was a lesson I learned. I was like, I'm just going to do what I think, what I would enjoy watching. And if the audience comes, and it's like, hopefully, like I was a little surprised at the first few episodes. I was like, okay, well, there's a lot more feedback than I expected here.
Oh, good.
Hopefully that'll be the case with you too. I mean, I think if you just do what you enjoy doing, because again, like when you're, like we spoke about earlier, with the audience kind of telling you, I want this, no, I want that.
Yeah.
And you kind of like try to mold and
stress you
mold
out.
it on them. And it's not even fun.
Right.
So your point of coming down and going on the keys and you're excited and you're fun, I think it's probably the best way for you to make the best content you're going to make. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. We'll be in touch. The Just YouTube. We'll see what you're doing. Like you said, we'll come back in a year.
Yeah.
And we'll see
I mean, I don't know how my audience is going to take me being a DJ. I get a lot of feedback of like doubt, which kind of fuels me.
Yeah.
So, if you don't like the DJing, then I don't know. I'll be traveling.
So long term, I guess, for the rest of your life. And okay, and I can't. That's a big.
No, go for it. Let's go. What's the question?
So what's you're 42 now. So you just told us that you want to travel the world. You have this, you want to go do what you wish you did a couple years ago. Long term, do you want to get into a long term relationship again? Do you want children?
Yeah. I hope to find my partner within the next 4 years and have kids.
Okay.
I would like to really start creating music, not just DJing, and playing it, and earning abundance from it to a point where I could, buy a nice house and for my family and be set up. And like I'll continue to work on this new project with Dog right now. And if this thing gets some wheels, I shouldn't say if, when it gets some wheels, it could be really big opportunity to earn some abundance. And I really want to do less and earn more.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't need the cloud. I don't need I don't need people to know I did something. Like if it's like an idea that I could sell, cool with it. I don't take care of your family. I just want to just be abundant and be able to live a comfortable lifestyle. I don't need private jets. I don't need anything like that, but I just want to not work for the man anymore.
Yeah, I feel
even though we haven't for so long.
But you still kind of feel like you are. Yeah.
Well, we did for YouTube.
Yeah.
I actually met. I got some funny stories. Are you about to end this? I got some stories I don't think I've ever told.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should. I mean, at this point, I feel like I can.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right. Well, there was one time at Burning Man, and I met the CEO of Google at Burning Man.
Okay.
I didn't know it was him, and he didn't know who I was, but somebody's introduced us that knew both of us.
Okay.
Like he's a YouTuber. He owns Google.
Really?
One of the founders. There's two. I'm not gonna say his name.
Okay.
If you know who they are. And we're at Burning Man. And Burning Man, everyone's the same. No one's famous there. It's what makes it cool. But they introduced us, and and he's like, he's a YouTuber. I'm like, oh, cool. And I was like, I thought he was excited to meet me, right? Because I'm a YouTuber. I don't know this older gentleman is, even though I'm older.
Yeah.
and he wasn't really interested to talk to me. And I was like, okay, cool, bye, whatever.
Yeah.
He walks away, and I'm like, who was that? She was, oh, that's the CEO of YouTube, well, the founder of YouTube. I was like, oh, full circle.
Yeah, that's crazy.
This is a guy who used to write my checks for me, and now here we are at Burning Man. I don't know. That was just one interesting time, and that was at Elon's camp. Elon goes to Burning Man. I've hung out with him a couple of times, and I really like Elon. So everyone's hating on him. I really like him. He's a dope dude. So I got to get close to him. He's definitely awkward. He's awkward. He's definitely socially awkward.
He seems like he from what I've
seen. He's very socially awkward, but he's cool. So I guess I won't get into the stories about him because I don't want to. I love him. He's dope.
that's crazy. Meeting the CEO of Google, or
it was so weird.
Google, it's insane.
It was so weird. It came full circle at that moment. I was like, oh, now what do I do with this information?
That's really cool. No, you've had a very eventful life. I mean, even from your early teens and going into, I knew some of the stories. Like I said, some I didn't. It's pretty cool. I think. You've lived through a lot. I think your experiences have really, you've gotten like I said, like double master and like experiences in life, and you've lived
I've lived like a bunch of them for sure. Really cool. I was a cop at one point. Yeah, I arrested people.
How does that?
Doesn't even register.
Do you even remember that?
Yeah,
I can't even remember. Like I don't even remember making YouTube videos early on.
Yeah,
that's the thing when I meet people, because you're a little older than I am, right? Like for me,
a lot older. You're 28, man.
Half my life has been FaZe, but at the end of the day, that half is the only thing I know. So like other people that would come and work at FaZe, they had a 10-year career here, and then they did this for 10 years. I was always like, I don't understand how you could spend 10 years doing this and spend another 10 years just doing something completely different. It's just so interesting to me. I'm sure that's how I'll feel. Maybe 10 years from now, I'll have a whole different thing that I'm doing, but can't imagine thinking back to the days you were a cop versus the days you were doing vlogs every day versus now you're going to travel the world.
Now I'm a Burning Man with Elon Musk. What happened?
It's very different.